You ready? All right, welcome everyone to the City Council meeting for Monday, May 22nd. If we could have a roll call, Madam Clerk, to establish quorum.
Melissa Green.
Here.
Steve Holofield.
Here.
Harry Meyer.
Here.
Autumn Slane is absent with notice. David Avanzino.
Here.
Terry McClung.
I'm here.
All right, if we can stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, at this moment, we're going to call a public hearing to hear any comments, pro or con, on vacating Inman Street between lots 12 and block 12 and block 13. Is there anybody here who wish to make any comments? Yes, sir. If you'd come up and state your name and residence.
My name's Bart Bauer, and I live in Bentonville, but I have a house in one German alley that abuts the alley here. And me and the neighbor just want to put it together. Most of it's rock. Like, he has a parking lot where the red barns are and stuff, so it kind of shears up there, and we kind of divide it up where he would keep his parking lot, and then there's like a sliver that acts as my driveway at this point. Simple as that.
All right. Thank you, Bart.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak for or against this vacation? All right, hearing none, I now will close the public hearing. So thank you, everybody. Now we'll go on to approval of the agenda. If I can get a motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Second.
All right. Any additions, corrections, anybody? Hearing none, all in favor of the agenda as submitted, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. And get a motion to approve the minutes for May 8th.
Motion to approve the May 8th, 2023 minutes.
Second.
All right, got a motion by Ms. Green, second Mr. Holyfield, to approve the minutes for May 8th. Any corrections, additions? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. All right, we have some vacancies in some of the commissions. We got a vacancy in the Planning Commission. Also have 2 vacancies on the CAPC. Have a vacancy in the hospital. And so if y'all are interested in any of those spots, please come in and fill out an application and just get your application on here. In the meantime, here's a nomination for that we'll bring up. So if you want to give her a call and talk to her. And also at this time, Frank Green nominated the last meeting. So I take a motion to approve Frank Green.
Make a
for
motion, we
HDC.
approve Frank Green for CAPC. No, not CAPC. Which one was it?
HDC.
HDC, yeah.
All right, have a motion
If
from,
he can go on the other 2 if he was.
do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, further discussions? Hearing none, all vote
Aye.
Any opposed? Public 3 minutes. So if you signed up, come on up and state your name.
My name is Timothy Anton, 19 Harvey Road, and I just wanted to state my opinion that the water bill is already incredibly high, and I cannot afford it to be raised with the current cost of living in Eureka Springs already. That's all I need to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ferguson Stewart, 7 Harvey Road. I'm also concerned about raising the water rates, not because we don't need to, but because I'm concerned in the future in 2024. Currently, I think we're going to end up going into a recession this year. I might be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. But if we do, the cost of inflation, the cost of fuel, all these things that are adding up, it's almost 20% per individual now in Carroll County and in Arkansas. So my concern is that will be an added nail into our fixed income residents as well. And also I have a copy of Act 605. I've actually talked to the sponsor of Act 605, and because of our INI income for that fund, I don't believe Act 605 applies to Eureka Springs, but that's my personal opinion. I haven't got anybody to confirm it. But there is a provision in here if financially strapped districts can actually ask for grants. So if anybody wants a copy of Act 605, I got it right here. Thank you for your time.
Hi, I'm Jane Stevens, 24 Breeding. Find a way to do this. I'm going to end up there anyway. I've done my homework. A mandate by Webster's. In 1992, Congress passed the American Disabilities Act. All national, state, county, city or town governing bodies are ordered to comply with said requirements in all public areas. That, my friends, was 31 years ago. We have 7 handicap parking spaces. 2 are on Mountain Street. You'd be in the front of the Roxy Theater if you tried to get out in a wheelchair. Sorry. Eureka Springs claims to be a diverse community, but did you know it is a civil rights violation under the jurisdiction of the Department of Justice to not comply with these requirements? Jacob has a handbook, by the way. I've done my research. No entity is exempt for any reason, not even historical landmarks. Never has been, never will be. We need to do something, anything other than deny it exists. As of now, the handicap spaces, and there is not a handicap restroom in sight. I've seen 2 people pee in their pants because they were in a wheelchair. All right, not to mention the places of business that are not historical landmarks, restaurants. Bingo. Okay, the city council really needs to put this on their agenda because it's not going to go away. Either we take initiative now and do it gradually, or the Department of Justice can come in and shut you down, and you'll have to do it all at once. And I think it's way overdue. 31 years. Red Rocks Coliseum is totally handicapped. It's crazy that we don't even pay attention, and it's discrimination. Stated clearly, denied an accommodation for a disability in a commercial or public location. Read the card. Thank you for your time, and I hope you really take advantage of this. I got it. I do everything. It just takes me long.
All right, any other public comments? All right, seeing none, we will continue on into our unfinished business. It's discussion of water and sewer rates. Harry Meyer, motion to discuss.
Motion to discuss.
Second.
All right. I think Simon's going to lead off with us and give
Simon's
us
gonna
some
lead off.
information.
Do you want me to lead off, or do you want to lead off?
You get started.
All right,
I'll join
so
in.
last council meeting, we had some discussion about water rates. So I've been working with the University of North Carolina regarding our rates. Act 605 absolutely does apply to the city of Eureka Springs. The I&I fund will more than likely have to be renamed to a different nomenclature, if you will. It's pretty specific about what it has to be named and how much money has to go in that fund. So I work with the University of North Carolina on rates, and as of right now, this year alone, we have a budget of $1,094,491 just for water expenses. As of right now, we are $200,000 over budget for the year, as a year whole, just number-wise, right? So if we raise rates by 25%, that would give us a surplus of $100 for the year. My world, that water leak that we just had, where that big water leak that was leaking down on Main Street, one valve was $11,000. So if I have, 3 of them that happen in 1 year, we're going to be down to nothing. So I've computed some numbers, and I know Alderman Harry Meyer talked about doing a higher rate increase on commercial versus residential. So I've got I don't have a lot of different variables, but I have a few. So I'd like to discuss that with you guys and see what you guys think. So right now, inside the city limits, the first 2,000 gallons is $11.50. From 2,001 gallons to 8,000 gallons is $4.49 per 1,000 gallon. And between 8,001 to 50 is $6.09 per 1,000. So if you guys were to raise the inside water rates by 25%, it would take that 0 to 2,000 gallons from 50 to 1438, so an increase of a couple bucks. The 2001 to 8,000 gallon category, before 25% increase is $4.49. After that increase, it's $5.74 per 1,000 gallons. And then if you're over 8,000 gallons, it's $6.09 per 1,000. And the 25% increase would be $7.55. So it's not a drastic change. I think on average it might raise bills for water probably $5 or so on average. I mean, it wouldn't be a whole lot. So we could do other things like raise the commercial side. Alderman Meyer asked me to calculate some numbers. If we raise the commercial side, we could reduce the domestic side, theoretically. So like, if we raise the inside, this commercial businesses, the hotels, the overnight lodging, Airbnbs, that kind of stuff. So if we raise it by 35%, it would go from $11.50 for the first 2,000 gallons to $15.53 for the first 2,000 gallons. Between 2001 and 8,000 gallons, from $4.49 to $6.20 per 1,000 gallon. And then the 8,000 up would be $8.15 versus the current $6.09 per 1,000 gallons. So it's not, even with 35%, you look at 35% and you think it's a huge drastic change, but it's not that big of a change. So our sewer rates, it's projected this year that we'll have a surplus of $18,000 in sewer. But in 2024, the projections look like it's going to dramatically drop, and we'll have a negative revenue of $17,600. If we raise sewer rates by 5%, our projected surplus would be $45,723 in 2024. Now, this is something that needs to happen every year with the rate of inflation that we've been having. We haven't adjusted rates in a few years here, and we've had a lot of inflation. So everything that we do costs more, even the water we purchase. So our current sewer rate right now, 0 to 2,000 gallons, is $11.50. With the 5% increase, it'd be $12.08. So a 58-cent increase in price. Between 2001 and 8,000 gallons, the current rate is $6.78. It would raise it to $7.12. And then from 8,001 gallons up, it would be $8.88 versus $8.46. So it's not a huge increase, but it makes a world of difference when our budget comes in. If we raise the rate by 10% on the sewer side, that would give us a surplus of almost $80,000. This is really where we need to be online. It's because our infrastructure is aging. We need to start doing capital improvement projects, replacing our infrastructure. Of course, at $80,000 plus a year, it would take us quite a few years to be able to do a substantial project. But with the 10% raise, the 0 to 2,000 would be roughly $1.15 more for the first 2,000 gallons at $12.65. From the 2001 to 8,000 would be $7.46, and then from 8,000 up would be $9.31 per thousand. So Carroll Boone has raised their rates. The rates were $1.75 per thousand gallons in 2021. They went up to $1.90 per thousand gallons in 2022. And in 2023, they raised the rate to $2.20 per thousand gallons. This is an increase per thousand gallon of 45 cents per thousand gallons. There's also expected larger increase come the first year. I'm not exactly sure what that looks like right now. They haven't really divulged a lot of information, but I've heard that something else, there's going to be another increase coming down the pike. So, you guys have any questions?
Yes. I think we've discussed about everyone, if you've got a meter, you've got to pay a monthly charge. It doesn't matter if you're taking off for the winter or if you're closing your business for the winter. We can shut your water off, but you still have to pay that base charge because we still have to provide water to that meter. And that will help offset. I mean, the businesses that shut down in the wintertime and some of the people that take off to Mexico, well, if they can take off to Mexico, I'm sure they can pay for their water bill while they're gone in Mexico.
So thank you for bringing that up. That was one of the recommendations from the University of North Carolina, actually, to eliminate the shutoffs over the wintertime because we still have the same amount of infrastructure that we have to maintain, but we're losing a big portion of our revenue during those winter months.
And raising the commercial rate will help keep the residential rate lower, which I think is more than fair.
Mr. McClung?
The way it was you just explained it is a 25% increase residential, or is that across the board?
So I've got it different ways here. I've got it with 25% across, so inside and outside city for everybody.
No, I'm talking about residential versus commercial.
Right, and then I broke down if we did inside or outside, I'm sorry, outside residential or inside and outside commercial.
What did you just present? Did you present residential only?
No.
Or commercial only,
So-
or is that across the board?
There's one that I presented that was
25%.
commercial at 30%.
Commercial at 35%, I believe you said.
I've got commercial at 35 too, so I don't remember.
Well, yeah.
I think it was 30%
So-
when I presented.
So if the first offer was at 20% increase across the board, is there currently a separate rate differential between residential and commercial?
No, sir. The only different rates that we have are inside and outside the city, and that only applies to water. Sewer is
Right.
the same across the board, but we only have two sewer.
Outside the city, you pay
that are
double
outside.
rate.
Right.
So, okay, so 25%, an across-the-board increase, residential, commercial.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Well, I know that That's,
That's the $4,300. So we
yeah,
came up with.
I understand. And the infrastructure work, and you referred to that also in the commercial, or in the sewer end of it, and that's what the I&I fund is for. That's what that was created for, to do these kind of repairs and replacement, additions, whatever we need. That is,
That would be correct, assuming that we're not $200,000 in the hole every year because our rates are too low.
I understand. I'm not arguing the fact that we need an increase. I'm not arguing that.
Yeah.
Well, and then the new act will require us to change the way we do those reserves for repairs. Instead of I&I, it won't be on everyone's bill. It'll be part of the regular bill.
That's correct.
And we pull that money out.
So it's 1/12 of the billable amount goes into that fund under the Act 605. So we could theoretically eliminate the
The
I&I
I&I
fund
fund.
and then just dedicate 1/12 of the rates to that account.
So you'd have to increase it to cover that, an
This is
additional amount.
This is in here.
In that 25%?
Yeah, because when we ran the numbers, we set aside 1/12.
Now, we wouldn't have to go 25% on residential if we went 35% in commercial, right?
We'd still have to do some residential.
Of course.
Yeah, so my
20%?
recommendation is 25%, and I'm probably not going to be the popular person up here, but I would do 35% on commercial and housing, or overnight housing, Airbnbs, and I'd do 25% on residential, if it was my opinion.
Ms. Green?
I was just going to say, you know, we're talking the difference between commercial and residential, and David probably can help me with that. A lot of our businesses do struggle too, just like a lot of our residents. So they can't afford to pay employees, you know, raises and stuff. So it's kind of, it goes hand in hand. I would feel more comfortable with just a flat rate of everybody, because actually the commercial probably does use more water and they're going to pay a lot higher.
Right, and if that were the...
Now, I will say, pardon me, Simon, Simon gave us what he's working off of. I'll get to the city council after the meeting. He just finally got this developed today, so we weren't able to get it to the council for y'all to look at. So we'll send this off to you, and you can see the various rates from the 20, 25, and 30, 35 that Simon's mentioning.
Yeah, I could send you this as well as the information that I received from the University of North Carolina. They have an Excel spreadsheet, and you can change those percentages, and there's a tab in there we could look, and it shows your projected costs, I guess, and your projected income and what that difference is. And you can change that percentage. That's how I did this, was I worked with the percentages to get it to where we're back in the green. But we're just barely back in the green at $4,300 with the 25% across the board. You know, if we increased the commercial side a little bit more, or even went up 30% on both the residential and commercial, the 30% increase would put us at roughly, what was it? I think it was 79,000. Yeah.
And we haven't calculated how much the city will get from people not getting their water shut off and not paying a dime on their water for the whole winter.
Yeah. That would help out a little bit.
That would help a lot.
I don't know the demographics and the numbers off of who or how many people shut their water off during the wintertime. I just know it's quite a few, because I just came in the end of summer, and we dealt with a lot of shutoffs coming the wintertime, but a lot of them are irrigation meters and everything else. So, we have to try to exclude that from those calculations.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So the 25%, does that, and you say you poll, was it 12% that covers the I&I?
1/12.
Huh?
1/12.
1/12.
Yeah, it's less than 10%.
Less than 10%.
Yeah.
Does that equal what the I&I fund currently pulls out?
It's probably less, I would think. You know, some people, we have quite a few customers that reach that max I&I, so they're paying $50 a month. I don't see that happening really very much with this rate structure with the 1/12 going on. back.
What I'm getting at, if it's going to drop $5, $10, or $50, we need to at least raise the rate where it's going to cover that. You follow me? So we do have, I don't want to lose.
Yeah, and you can always dedicate more to
Than the
1/12.
Okay.
So it could be, 2/6 or
Well,
whatever.
I think that's what, the numbers I'd like to see is, predicated on the fact that we want to at least equal what I earns now.
Okay.
At least equal that and cover our cost.
Okay.
And definitely you want to have a little bit above that. But that's what I don't want to set a figure and then not have the reserves that we need to have. I see that I fund as you're talking about, raising it up 30% to get to 80,000 or 35% to get to 80,000 in money when we're doing better than that now with what we have as far as I money.
Yeah. And I could try to run those numbers for you.
Am I
Honestly, my
making sense?
opinion would be that we left the I alone for now.
Yeah.
And just do, we could do that. When I was thinking about this earlier, I would have just left the I in place and renamed it to the what we have to rename it to for Act 605, and I cannot remember what it is.
Well, you were just a minute ago, you were about, you changed that and pulling that out.
You can, but
Well,
I would recommend that you stay and add that 1/12 to that account.
You mean 1/12 above that?
Yeah,
Is that what you're?
yeah.
Well, that's what I need to see. I need to see what an exact defined
Yeah.
plan is what you have in mind. It's a little bit bouncy for me right now.
Yeah.
I still insist that commercial needs to pay more than residential. We got a tourist town, residents should not subsidize the tourist business. The tourists, we have to provide all that infrastructure for tourists, so they need to pay for a portion of it. That's my argument.
Mr. Avanzino?
Yeah, I'm going to completely disagree with you, Mr. Meyer. We have a lot of businesses that are shutting down in this city because we're way overtaxed. We pay a lot of money into this city for our only industry, which is tourism, and supports our residents. I don't disagree that the water rates need to be raised, but it doesn't need to be placed primarily on the commercial side.
Oh, it won't be. Residents are going to have to pay more too.
Well, it needs to be an even keel across the board.
Oh, no.
Well,
No,
we're
most
not-
cities-
Let's don't get into the debate right now.
Right, we haven't even seen the documents yet, so.
Most cities have a commercial meter. Is that true?
No.
No?
No, they pay the same rates that houses do, the same
I
exact.
thought they had a commercial meter charge.
Not to my knowledge, they don't. According to our municipal code, they pay the current rates, and it only varies if you're inside or outside the city. And then your deposit changes if you have a bigger meter. So, yeah, like a 2-inch meter, the deposit on the 2-inch meter right now is $1,500.
So if they use more water, they pay more, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And that might be another thing that you look at too. I mean, there's so many different things you can do with rate changes, right? And what we're doing is, what I'm presenting right now is a rate change as a percentage across the board, or whether it be commercial or residential, or the case might be. But we can leave the base charge where it's at and make changes to the next levels, the 2,000 up, the 8,000 up. That way, the lower income people that are just barely using what they have to use to get by through the month, they're not charged anymore. But the big users, take the brunt of that. So,
Whatever we do, we need to make a decision soon. We're in the hole.
Mr. McClung?
Well, I just like to, you're going to get something prepared for us to look at.
Yeah.
Where it'll be spelled out, so we can look at it a lot more.
We can put this back on the agenda for next time,
Yeah,
too.
that's great.
And it may end up being, we need to have a workshop, because there's a lot of, with all these variables in here.
Right.
I think the main thing right now is letting council know, we can't keep losing money like we've done in the past, especially when Carol Boone is charging us. I mean, we haven't increased our rates in 3 years or more.
And Carol Boone's in the hole right now, so.
It's also critical that we fix, repair.
Oh, absolutely.
The leaks that we have
We
are
gotta have
still
money to do it, so.
horrible. So we gotta find them first.
And
Can't fix
it's a
them till we find
continuous,
them.
it's going to be a continuous basis.
Well, that's sure, that's always going to be the case.
All right. Anybody else?
Don't have to.
We'll get you this water rates that Simon worked up, and I'll get this out to you tonight.
That spreadsheet would be great.
So, yeah. All right.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, guys. All right, our next item is get an ordinance, discussion for ordinance vacating Inman Street between between Block 12 and Block 13, lots 1 and 2. Get a motion to discuss.
Motion to discuss.
Second.
All right, this is what we just had the public hearing for. This is off of, if you're not familiar with it, it's going down German Alley. It's right past the old Perkins Lumber Yard, down through there. It's a dead-end street. Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion that we assign this ordinance a number and put it up for first reading.
Second.
I got a motion and a second to assign this a number and to read it on first reading. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
All right. Assigning ordinance number 2340, an ordinance vacating a section of Inman Street. Whereas the City Council of Eureka Springs, Arkansas has reviewed the petition of the adjoining landowner to vacate the area defined by the following legal description. All of Inman Street lying between Lot 1 and 2 of Blocks 12 and 13 of the Riley and Armstrong Survey of the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and being more particularly described as follows. Tract A, commencing it at the northeast corner of said Block 12 for the point of beginning, thence south 23 degrees, 18 feet, 54 inches east, 18 minutes, 54 seconds east, 23.20 feet, thence south 17 degrees, 9 feet, 5 inches. Oh, now I'm lost. Sorry.
Those are minutes and seconds.
Yeah. I don't know why my brain's not doing it today. South 17 degrees, 9 minutes, 52 seconds, west 62.55 feet. And then north 76 degrees, 20 minutes, 35 seconds west, 22.88 feet. Thence north 22 degrees, 36 minutes, 16 inches east, 81.97 feet to the point of beginning, containing .032 acres, or 1,397.25 square feet. Tract B, commencing at northeast corner of said Block 12 for point of beginning, thence south 73 degrees, 37 minutes, 57 seconds east, 30.01 feet, thence south 22 degrees, 36 minutes, 22 seconds west, 80.53 feet, thence north 76 degrees, 20 minutes, 35 seconds west, 7.33 feet, thence north 17 degrees, 9 minutes, 52 seconds east, 62.55 feet, thence north 23 degrees, 18 minutes, 54 seconds west, 23.20 feet to the point of beginning, containing .024 acres, or 1,026.98 square feet. And whereas Section 14-54-1042 of the Arkansas Code annotates allows City Council to vacate certain streets, now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Eureka Springs, the alley described above is hereby vacated and title is hereby vested in fee simple in the adjoining landowner. All ordinances and parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed to the extent of such conflict, that in the event that any section, paragraph, subdivision, clause, phrase, or other provision or portion of this ordinance shall be judged invalid or unconstitutional, the same shall not affect the validity of this ordinance, code section, or chapter as a whole, or any part or provision other than that part so decided to be invalid or unconstitutional, and the remaining provisions of this ordinance, code section, or chapter shall remain in effect. Thanks for bearing with me.
Mr. McClung?
I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance number 2347. Did I get that number correct?
Yes.
Okay.
2340.
2340?
Zero, yeah,
Okay, I'm
2340, sorry.
Ordinance, which one is it?
2340.
2340, yes.
I second that.
All right, motion made by Mr. McClung to approve ordinance 2340 on its first reading, and second by Mr. Meyer. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Mr. McClung?
I'd like to make a motion that we suspend the rules and read ordinance number 2340 on its second reading.
Second.
By title only?
But
Yes, by title only,
Please.
of course. That goes without saying. When you forget to say it.
Yeah, all right. All right. Motion second by Mr. Myers. Any discussion? Okay.
Terry McClung,
Yes.
Harry Meyer,
Yes.
Melissa Green,
Yes.
Steve Holofield,
Yes.
David Avanzino.
yes.
Ordinance 2340, ordinance vacating a section of Edmund Street.
Mr.
Motion
McClung?
to,
Go ahead, no, Harry.
I'll
that's
make a
fine.
motion to approve ordinance 2340 on its second reading.
Second.
Mr. Meyer made the motion, and Mr. McClung seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none?
Steve Holofield,
Yes.
Terry McClung,
Yes.
Melissa Green,
Yes.
David Avanzino,
Yes.
Harry Meyer.
Yes.
All right, so moved. Mr. McClung?
Might as well go ahead and read it for the third one. I make a motion that we suspend the rules, read ordinance number 2340 by title only for its third and final reading.
And I'll second.
All right, motion been made by Mr. McClung, and second by Mr. Meyer to read on third and final reading by title only. Any further discussion? Hearing none?
Ordinance number 2340, an ordinance vacating a section of Edmund Street.
Motion to approve ordinance 2340 on its second or third reading, third and final reading.
Second.
All right, Mr. Meyer made the motion to approve it on third reading. Mr. McClung seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none?
We'll get it right.
David Avanzino,
Yes.
Melissa Green,
Yes.
Harry Meyer,
Yeah.
Terry McClung,
Yes.
Steve Holofield.
Yes.
All right, so moved. Thank you. All right, we're in good shape to have 30 days before it comes into effect. Yeah. All right, this brings us up to our second item of business, a resolution utilizing federal aid transportation alternative program funds.
Motion to discuss.
Second.
We had, this is on the TAP grant on the sidewalk. We had made a motion and a resolution before. However, we had numbers and cost in there. The state of Arkansas Highway Department didn't like our resolution, so they came back with this resolution, said that they wanted this one done. And so we said, okay. So that's what this is all about. It's not a new grant or anything else. It's just a resolution basically utilizing the monies that they're going to give us on the sidewalk. So if I can get a motion to sign a number and approve for reading.
I'll make a motion that we assign the resolution a number and read it into passage.
Second.
And any further discussion? Hearing none, so, yeah.
Steve Holofield,
Yes.
Terry McClung,
Yes?
David Avanzino,
Yes.
Melissa Green,
Yes.
Harry Meyer.
Yes.
Signing resolution number 841, a resolution expressing the willingness of the City Council of the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas to utilize federal aid transportation alternatives programs funds. Whereas the City Council of the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas understands federal aid transportation alternatives program funds are available at 80% federal participation and 20% local match to develop a sidewalk along Highway 62. And whereas the City Council understands that federal aid funds are available for this project on a reimbursement basis, requiring work to be accomplished and proof of payment prior to actual monetary reimbursement. And whereas this project using federal funding will be open and available for use by the general public and maintained by the applicant for the life of the project. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, the City Council will participate in accordance with its designated responsibility, including maintenance of this project. Section 2, the mayor of the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, or their designated representative is hereby authorized and directed to execute all appropriate agreements and contracts necessary to expedite the construction of the above stated project. Section 3, the City Council of the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas pledges its full support and hereby authorizes the Arkansas Department of Transportation to initiate action to implement this project.
All right, thank you. All right, next item on our agenda is resolution for a public hearing to vacate a portion of Main Avenue and Fuller Street.
Motion to discuss.
Second.
All right, this is areas setting up a public hearing similar to what we just had. This property's up in around Breezy Point, up north around Dairy Hollow. There should be in your packet items for the showing the area and plat map and other items that are needed for that. So,
I have a question.
okay.
Yeah, is this in Fuller Street there next to Armand Park? Is that right?
What was
Is that
that?
right?
Fuller Street is by Harmon Park. That's true. I think it goes,
The map doesn't, I mean, it
So-
shows us the plat, but
The address is 17 Breezy Point is the address of the house that's on these adjoining lots. So it's the end of Breezy Point Circle on the right. It's the Athes.
I wasn't familiar with Main Avenue.
no, I mean either.
I couldn't
I was
find it on
thinking
the
Main
city
Street, and I thought, no, that's,
Yeah.
then I thought, we're getting into monopoly. We got Ohio and Oregon and, I didn't-
Maine, Ohio.
Yeah.
But it's, Fuller Street must go up north of,
yeah, that's,
Of Dairy Hollow.
yeah. That's the only thing I
This,
know of.
there's no abutting property owners where they cut it off. They cut it off only adjoining their lots. So all of the lots you see that it's adjacent to are lots that they own.
just not it's not a real good map. I mean, it just, I think I get it. I think it's just that section, and they own everything around.
Yeah, if you want, I can get you like the Act Data Scout view, like the Google Maps view almost, the satellite map view, and draw it out for you. This is just to set the public hearing for it.
Yeah, right. Well,
Why
we
don't we do that?
don't do much talking in the public hearing. This is our point.
Why don't-
This is
well,
our
let-
opportunity to
let's-
discuss now, right?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get you a copy of that Act Data Scout view, so everybody can see.
Yeah, I
exactly-
just want, I just need to
Yeah, where it's at.
get it. Yeah, that's all. I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah,
By no
I
means.
know where Main Avenue is, that's all.
The, I don't, Forrest, this is the one that there was, Simon thought there was a utility conflict, and we wanted to go ahead and set a public hearing so the owners could be heard.
So what is your question?
So do we need, because we're mandated by state statute to set a public hearing when they submit everything needed for the application.
Right.
So are we, so can we defer this?
Can we defer it?
I don't want to defer
Oh, okay,
it. No,
okay.
no, I'm not wanting
Okay,
to do
sorry.
that.
No,
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, if I can read the name on here, I can look it up on Act Data Scout myself. I'm trying to,
In your packet, it's probably some names, property owners' names and stuff.
it's, it would be on this front sheet, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because I can't read it on that one.
Is there a time limit when we need to establish a public hearing? Next meeting?
Yeah, okay.
I have
Oh,
it set for next meeting, but you can establish whatever public hearing date you want.
No, I'm good.
Is there any other comments about
Just trying to figure out what it is.
Carolyn,
I'll make a motion that we assign this resolution a number and read it into passage.
and set a date?
Second.
And set,
Yeah.
set a date.
Second.
All right.
Okay, motion and second to sign this resolution, and Ms. Green made the motion, and Mr. McClung seconded? Okay.
Harry Meyer,
yeah,
Melissa Green,
Yes.
Steve Holofield,
Yes.
David Avanzino,
Yes.
Terry McClung.
Yeah.
Signing resolution number 842, a resolution to set a public hearing date for consideration of vacating a section of Main Avenue and Fuller Street, whereas the property owner of lots 1 through 8 in Block 53 of the Clayton or Eureka Springs Improvement Survey have submitted a petition to the City of Eureka Springs to vacate an unused section of Fuller Street running north and south and Main Avenue running east and west. And whereas the signed petition was submitted to the council in regular session on May 22nd, 2023, along with a copy of the plat showing the streets, alleys, and adjoining lots. And whereas Arkansas Code ACA 14-301-302C provides the city council shall be, by resolution, fix a day for the hearing of the petition filed to vacate a street or alley. And whereas the law further directs the city clerk to give notice of the meeting by publication once per week for 2 consecutive weeks in some newspaper published in Carroll County, Arkansas, and having general circulation in the city. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, that the petition to vacate the above described street is set for hearing on June 12, 2023, at 6 p.m. in the auditorium of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and the city clerk shall give notice of this meeting by publication as set forth by Arkansas Code ACA 14-301-302C.
All right, thank you. All right, moving on. Next item is an ordinance to amend the Board of Appeals from the action of the building inspector. Get a motion to discuss.
Motion to discuss.
second?
All right. The old building code, International Building Code, set up a method to establish a Board of Appeals to hear appeals from the building inspector's decisions. The old building code said that it had to be a licensed structural engineer licensed electrical engineer, licensed architect, licensed mechanical engineer, and I think one general contractor, all who resides within the city limits. The new building code takes away those restrictions of the licensing. It just says professionals and within the construction industry, but also allows us to pick up people outside the city limits. That's been our main problem with not being able to have a Board of Appeals. We just don't have anybody qualified inside the
We
city
don't have the
limits
population.
to do it. We're not big enough to have that.
No.
At one time, we had one, and, you know, up until recently, we've never met. And so this is, gives us the opportunity, gives me the opportunity to try to come up with people that I would consider being good on the board to bring them before the council for approval. So,
Now, would we have to, the city, incur the cost of hiring these people?
no, this is just like any other commission.
The
or boards.
volunteers.
Okay. Is it going to be hard to get them, even outside of the city?
I don't know, we'll find out.
Okay.
I mean, it is a small town, and a lot of times professionals and contractors don't like to sit on boards judging people because of conflict of interest, and, you know, we're a small town. But it's similar to what the planning commission and zoning would be, except this listens to appeals from the building inspector.
Right. The reason I ask is on all our other appeals or CUP applications, the applicant or the appealer pays the cost. So if there were costs to this, would we not, do we need that in the ordinance or to?
That's already there.
Well, right now, this is just amending, I don't think we've ever had a cost on this.
Okay.
Yeah,
But we do on other appeals
yeah,
and applications.
yeah. I don't even know whether, it doesn't even mention it in the building code, so.
Okay.
Yep. All right, any other questions?
Well, then I'll make a motion that we assign the ordinance a number and read it in its first reading.
Second.
All right, any further, you got a motion and a second, any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Assigning ordinance number 2341, an ordinance to amend Eureka Springs Municipal Code, Section 11.04, Building Inspector, whereas the current Eureka Springs City Municipal Code, Chapter 11, Section 402G, requires members of the Board of Appeals from a final decision of the building inspector to reside inside the corporate limits of the city of Eureka Springs, whereas qualified members of the Board of Appeals living within the city may not be available. Now therefore be it hereby ordained by the City Council of the City of Eureka Springs, the Board of Appeals shall consist of members who are qualified by experience and training to pass on matters pertaining to the construction building trades, hazards of fire, explosions, hazardous conditions, or fire protection systems, and are not employees of the city. Section 2, the Board of Appeals members shall either be licensed or certified within the building trades professions in order to sit on the Board of Appeals. Section 3, qualified members of the Board of Appeals may reside outside the city limits of Eureka Springs. Emergency clause. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
All right.
I'll make a motion that we pass ordinance number 2341 on its first reading.
Second.
All right, Ms. Green made the motion, Mr. Holyfield second. To read it on first reading. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
I'll make a motion that we read 2341 by title only.
Suspend the rules.
Suspend the rules and read 2321 by title only.
I'll second that.
All right, motion by Mr. Myers, second by Ms. Green. Any further discussion? Hearing none.
Melissa Green,
Yes.
Steve Holofield,
Yes.
Harry Meyer,
Yeah.
David Avanzino,
Yes.
Terry McClung.
Yes.
Ordinance number 2341, an ordinance to amend Eureka Springs Municipal Code 1104, building inspector.
Make a motion, we suspend the rules and read ordinance
No, we just
2341.
need to,
No, no,
Approve second.
Approve,
we approve, yes.
approve. Amendment, ordinance 2341.
on second reading. All
On
right.
second reading, yes.
And I'll second that.
All right. Motion by Mr. Meyer and second by Ms. Green. Any further discussion?
Pushing too hard.
Hearing none?
Terry McClung,
Yes.
Harry Meyer,
Yes.
Melissa Green,
Yes.
Steve Holofield,
Yes.
David Avanzino.
Yes.
Okay. I make a motion, we suspend the rules and read ordinance 2341 on its third reading by title only.
Second.
Mr. Meyer made the motion and Mr. Holyfield seconded.
Steve Holofield,
Yes.
Terry McClung,
Yes.
Melissa Green,
Yes.
David Avanzino,
Yes.
Harry Meyer.
Yes.
Ordinance number 2341, an ordinance to amend Eureka Springs Municipal Code 1104, building inspector.
Make a motion, we approve ordinance 2341 by, on its third and final reading.
Second.
Any discussion? Motion made by Ms. McClung, seconded by Ms. Green. Okay, hearing none?
David Avanzino,
Yes.
Melissa Green,
Yes.
Harry Meyer,
Yes.
Terry McClung,
Yes.
Steve Holofield.
Yes.
Ordinance number 2341, an ordinance to amend Eureka Springs Municipal Code 1104, building inspector.
I'd like to make a motion, we go ahead and read the
Emergency clause?
emergency clause, yes.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All right, motion made by McClung and seconded by Mr. Holyfield to read the emergency clause.
Steve Holofield,
Yes.
Terry McClung,
Yes.
David Avanzino,
Yes.
Harry Meyer,
Yes.
Melissa Green.
Yes.
Emergency clause, and here, an emergency is hereby declared to exist, and this ordinance being necessary to operate the office of the building inspector in a safe and efficient manner, and to prevent the disruption of service to city residents and businesses, and to ensure the health and safety and welfare. An emergency is therefore declared to exist, and this ordinance will therefore be in full force and effect from the date of its passage.
Thank you all very much. That brings us up to agenda setting, I believe. We've got a couple of items already on the agenda for next week, our next meeting. Anybody else have anything? Mr. Green?
Just, didn't Jacob want us to start discussing the short-term and long-term inspections? Something he
Supposed to have a
wanted
workshop.
passed or
I'm
talked.
sorry, what, now what,
Jacob wanted us to write up some kind of ordinance on the short-term rentals and long-term rental inspections.
okay, well, I guess we've got to come up with something first.
Okay.
Yeah, as soon as we get it, I'll get it to the council.
All right.
That's a long-
I'll come
long
up
deal.
with it.
All right. Anybody else? City council comments. I'm going to start with David Avanzino. You're up.
Thanks. First of all, the White Street Walk was fantastic. Had a great time. And am I the only one left for the water board training?
Beg your pardon?
Act 605 training? Am I
Did
the
you
only
ever
one?
get a hold of them?
I finally got a hold of them
Okay,
after about 11 phone calls. So yeah.
good.
And I do that in June. So, and then municipal league coming up in June as well. So looking forward to it.
All right. Mr. Holyfield?
Next CAPC meetings this Wednesday at 6 p.m. here, and that's all.
Ms. Green?
Beautiful day out.
Mr. Myers?
Well, we had a great send-off for Mr. Gates Magoo. Had a procession, one New Orleans band going right down Spring Street. He'll be missed.
All right. Is that it?
That's all.
Mr. McClung?
Nothing.
All right. Well, we've got a lot of activities going on for the next couple of weeks. We got Music in the Park on May 27th from 1 to 3, Caney Creek. And then 3:30 to 5, Casey and the Attaboys. Also on May 27th from 10 to 4 at the Carnegie Library in Harmon Park, we've got the Just So Kids Art Fest. Also, we've got the Urban Sketchers at Sweet Springs from 1 to 5. Just to remind everybody, Memorial Day, May 29th, city offices will be closed in observance of the holidays.
And Ida's birthday.
Beg your pardon? And also, for the first time in a long time, we've got the Blues Fest back in town. So Eureka Blues Party from June 1st through the 4th. Music in the Park, June the 2nd with Bricks Fields, 2 to 4. Auditorium Concert, June the 2nd, Ray Wiley Hubbard and Marcia Ball at 7:30. Drumming in the Park on June the 3rd at 6 p.m. Ozark Mountain Rally, June 9th and 10th. Music in the Park, June 9th, with Brave Combo from 6 to 8. And then also Music in the Park, June 10th, with Jesse Dean, 4 to 6. So we got a lot of things going on, and so get out and enjoy Eureka Springs. And with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
All right.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.